Hey guys, Esty here again. We saw all the love and support that you guys have been throwing at us, whether it be in the comments, subscribes on the video, views. The love has just been pouring and pouring in, and so we really wanted to take the time to create another video for you guys and continue this series. One of the other bosses that keep popping up, whether it be in my chat or in the comments, is Shiso. He's another terror, a run ender, if you will. So here we are. We're going to try to create another guide, really get to know Shiso here and see if we can make the fight that much easier for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alrighty, Misfits, let's see what we're getting into and how Shiso decides to treat us today. We're going to slow the game speed down to about half here so we can see exactly what's going on. Again, as soon as I get into any boss battle, I am dishing as much damage as possible. One of the things I noticed is any boss battle you get into, the first part of the boss battle, they're very limited on their attacks. So get familiar with the bosses and the attacks that they can throw out in the beginning before you hurt them too much. In the beginning of this battle against Shiso, he can't really do his scariest attacks. He can throw down the traps and try to lure you into them. He can also hit you with the attack that forces you to shuffle and adds jams to your deck. All right, let's get into it and see how to actually dodge these attacks that he's throwing at us in the beginning of this fight. All right, the step slash. This is one of his bread and butter attacks, especially early in the Shiso fight. So we see Shiso is throwing out his jump slash attack. This is the same attack that Saffron starts with in the beginning of her deck, so you're all familiar with it. Everyone here played Saffron as their first character. We all know the jump slash attack. That's exactly what he's doing here. So I'm going to give you guys the easiest trick to dodging this attack. You guys ready? And this should make it a lot easier on you. I'm going to slow the game down even more. You can see that Shiso here is jumping to the very, very back tile. In this attack, when he's on the back tile, that's the only time you need to worry about with this trick that I'm trying to show you. He's going to jump and slash the very first couple tiles. Now, here's what I want you guys watching to do, and here's how I want you guys to approach this fight. What you want to do as the player is come to the very second from front tile on the top. This could also work on the bottom opposite tile. So the second tile from the front, very top or very bottom. This is the sweet spot, and I'll tell you why. When he's doing these jump slash attacks, he has to leap a certain distance. So if you're in the very front row, he can't hit you from any tile except the very back tile if you are in this front row. And I'll repeat that again. If you're in the very front row, Shiso cannot attack you unless he's starting the slash attack from the very back row. That's the only time you have to worry about it. Easy, right? Now, the reason I want you to stand in the second row from the front is because the awkward time where he might be in the very back row, you might barely have enough time to react and get out of that slash. So if you're in the second from front row, and if he doesn't decide to attack from the back row, you can leap back one square and be out of range. Alrighty. Here's a perfect example to show you guys, and this would be the worst case scenario. So if we were on the square that I demonstrated for you guys, and he decided to, he happened to attack from the very back line, being in the front row would leave us very quick reaction to double move, either left to get out of the swing or down to get out of the swing. Looking a little rocky. Where if we were on the square that I showed you guys, anytime that he attacks from the very back line, which is the only line that could hit us, we could just move left and we're free to go. If he's on the very back line, that's the only thing we need to look out for. If he attacks from any other square on the board, all we have to do is move forward to our safe space. Because remember, the only time he can attack you in the front row is if he's in the very back row. Real quick, something else I wanted to add it on to the slash attack, which is pretty interesting that a lot of people I don't think knows, is when he does do the jump slash attack, he adds jams to your deck. And some of you may have caught this one. You may have been battling him and got to the end of your deck and saying, why are all these jams here? Well, every time he slashes you, he's adding a jam to your deck. But what people don't know is when he jumps and slashes at you, he's also stealing your money. Yes, so at the end of this battle, if you're getting hit by all those slash attacks, your money is going to be severely depleted. But good thing you're watching this video and you guys saw the tricks. This attack is not so scary once you learn those tricks. He can only, after this trick, he should only be able to hit you from the very back row, and you should be dodging that no problem once you get used to it. You're gonna have to steal somebody else's lunch money, Shiso. Let's move on to his next attack. Alrighty. This one will go over pretty fast. Here we have Shiso's, the big yellow beam that goes across the board. It covers 3 tiles. So what happens here is, and what he's trying to do is add jams to your deck and then force you to shuffle. So what's going to happen is all the jams are not going to be at the end of your deck. They're all going to be shuffled throughout your deck. And on average, those jams are going to cost 2 mana each. So they become very expensive and they will slow you down. So that's the idea here. He's really just trying to add jams to your deck and then force you to shuffle them into your deck. So that's something that you have to be careful of. This is usually his most telegraphed attack and easy one to dodge. So if he's standing in the middle of the board like he is, it's going to be 3 tiles wide, the jam, so you just want to get the furthest away from him as possible. If he's standing 1 tile higher, then you would just go all the way to the bottom, and that's all there is to that attack. Alrighty. Shiso's next attack, and for some reason I know that this one can seem very scary for some people, but it really shouldn't be that hard to dodge, and here we go, we're going to tell you how. So Shiso throws out the 3 traps. I believe on earlier zones, this is only going to be 2 traps, but at high level Shiso, this is going to be 3 traps. But either way, we're going to dodge it just the same. Shiso throws out the traps here, and we see exactly where they land. The first thing that we're looking for once he throws these is an open file. We're looking for the open files. So what happens here is this whole row here and this whole row, it means that this tile is pretty safe right here. The other thing that we could do is go to the very front, because this file is open and this file is open. This could also work if, let's say, there was a trap in the very corner over here. We would still be safe over here, and we should still be able to react just fine and not end up in the trap because we're very far away from it. And that's the kind of idea. We're going to the open row and file that the traps are not there or the furthest away from us. So we know that this corner over here is safe. He would not be able to, no matter what, throw us into the traps. Because what's going to happen here is when he blows us around with the movement over here, we're just going to readjust and go back in that corner. So right now he's pushing us into the wall. Now he's pulling us back out. And I'm just going to move back. And so that's the trick here. And that's how you do this fight. That one movement there explains this whole attack. So once he blows you forward and he's trying to line you up with the traps and throw you off, we're just going to move back to our corner. That's all we're going to do. It's literally impossible for him to get us in the traps from this spot. So once he throws us somewhere, we just move back. If he moved us down, we just go back. Otherwise, he can't move us at all. So it's impossible. He can't move us diagonal or anything like that. Really, he just can't get us in these traps as long as we align ourselves nicely like this. So here we go. We found another case of him doing the same attack that we just showed you guys. Except this time, the RNG of where he threw the traps actually benefited us. So right here, he threw all the traps in the corner. And again, what we know is as long as we're not up here by these traps in this line, he can't get us in these traps. So that means we're free to go down here no matter what. So this is a good opportunity where we could deal a lot of damage while he's throwing us around and doing this attack. So we seize the opportunity here. We go down into his file because no matter what, he can't get us in a trap. And we just focus on him and dealing damage. So to recap, as long as you're in an awkward position and maybe you're not aligned with him and he's nowhere near your side of the board, all you're going to do is find a safe corner and stay in it. He throws out the traps and they benefit you. Maybe they're all bunched up in one corner and you're on the same side as Shiso. Deal that pain. Alrighty. So here we are onto his next attack, the next Shiso attack. And this one can get a lot of players. This is after you do hit a certain threshold of getting to him about half. He's going to start doing these attacks to you. And so the idea is he's trying to jump behind you and in front of you to throw you off. He's going to line up with you and he's going to shoot a shot. This is a lot of times where players start to panic and move into a lot of his shots and they have no idea what's going on. So I'm going to give you guys a simple trick to dodge this one. Once he gets to about half health and he starts throwing this attack at you, all you have to do as the player is not panic, start moving up, down, left, right, trying to get out of his attack, trying to react to him. All you're going to do is bait his attacks and move up and down. Yep, that's it. Crazy, right? All you're going to do is move up and down. So Shiso lunges at us and he jumps behind us, and all we're going to do is go up and down. So here we're reacting. We see the attack he's doing. I decide to move up. He comes to attack us. I move down. He comes to attack us again. He's going to do this 5 times. I move back up. And then he's going to attack us one more time. At that point, after that 5th attack, we're going to remember that the trick I showed you about the lighter gray square, that's where he's going to end up when his attacks are done. So we're going to go deal some pain. So the real trick here is when he's doing his attacks, we just want to make sure, one, to get it under control, make sure that we got the rhythm going up and down. And just remember where he's going to end up, because this is going to be a big opportunity to deal a lot of damage to him. And here we go. He's off. He jumps behind us and he shoots. Now, this is something also important to remember. It seems like once somebody gets hit in this game, they like to panic a lot. I'm one of those people. They just start to panic. We're doing something wrong. A lot of times when these bosses first go into their attack pattern, it's very disorienting. We don't know what attack pattern they're going to go on, and they leap very fast. So again, once he shoots me once, we don't panic. All we do is get ready. We line up. We know the attack he's doing, and we're just going to move up and down once we realize the pattern he's doing. So we move up, we move down, we move up, we move down, and we're keeping that square in mind where he's going to end up again. So after the 5th time, we're free to unleash hell. Here we go, and he's done, and we got to deal some damage. Here's another example of him doing the same attack. We'll just watch this one play out. See how we're using the rhythm we taught you? And we line up with the square that he's going to go back to. Perfect execution. All of a sudden, that attack's not too scary. We don't have to move left, we don't have to move right, and we only have to worry about moving up and down. Now, there should only be one more attack that we're really worried about on Shiso, and let's go find that one. Alrighty, high level Shiso. So, this is the same attack that you're familiar with when you fight Shiso in the early game. Once he gets close to death, this is the attack he's going to start throwing out because it's very fast, rapid, and it's trying to cause you to panic. So he's going to leap at you in one of your cardinal directions. So he's going to be either left, right, top, or bottom of you. And he's going to do a little slash attack where he's going to hit in the cardinal directions of him. So the only objective here is to get diagonal of him. That's the only objective. We need to get diagonal of him. So one of the tricks that I like to use here, one is not to panic, and I know this is hard, especially while he's coming at you like this. The trick here is not to panic. I want to say that a lot of this attack is reactionary. You need to see where he is and then just move. This will make it a lot easier on you if you make sure that you are up against the wall, which you can see kind of being executed here. And I'll give you guys the mindset of the wall trick. If we're up against the wall, it negates one of the spaces that Shiso can be. So now what this is going to do for us is if we are up against the wall, and I'll give you guys an example. So if we go against the wall, which is where I want you guys to be, it'll make this attack a little bit easier. It's going to make sure that he can either be left or right of us or on top of us. He can't be at the bottom of us, and so this eliminates one of the axes. So now our object here is just to see where he's going to jump at us, either left or right. And in that case, if he is jumping to the left or right of us, all we have to do is move up and we'll be out of the attack range. And if he jumps on top of us, we have to move left or right. I think that would be the easiest trick. Again, this attack you will get used to over time just by doing it over and over, but it is pretty reactionary. So the easiest thing to do is get against one of the walls. Just remember wherever your back is to, whether you're at the very bottom platform or if you're at the very back, he can't be behind you, or if you're at the top, he can't be above you. So again, if he's jumping to the side of you, all you have to do is move towards the inner side of the board. And if he's moving on the inside of you while you're up against the wall, you just have to move left or right across the plane. Or whether you're on the back wall, if he's in front of you, you just have to move up or down. And if he's above or below you, all you have to do is move towards the inside of the board. I think that's going to be the easiest trick to learning him. Just remember that oftentimes wherever he is, you're probably like one step away from getting out of the attack. Again, I wish I could make this pattern a little easier for you guys, but it's going to take some reaction, which means that you just have to practice it a little bit more. But with those little tricks, you're going to feel more comfortable with what he's doing. You just don't want to be in the same plane as him. Get diagonal of him. That's the only trick I can really give you guys for that one. And it becomes easier, I promise, the more you do it. Alrighty, guys. That's going to be the trick to Shiso. Again, just remember, be patient. Take your time. This is one of the harder bosses. A lot of it you have to be very reactionary to, and that's kind of like the one thing he's testing. It's not just like attack patterns that you could just dodge. It's a lot of like you need to see where he's gonna go in order to figure out what you're gonna do, and sometimes you only have like a second to do that. So keep in mind, that's why we made this guide. This guy is tough. Be patient. Take your time with this one. And just remember, at the end of every attack, that's your time to deal damage. And then as you get more comfortable with his attacks, you can find more openings, especially with the light gray square that we taught you about, and lining up right after his attack to deal a lot of damage. All right, hope you guys hope that made it easier for you. Well, that was a lot of fun. I don't know about you guys, but I think just doing that overview even made me feel more comfortable with Shiso, so I think I'm ready to go on today's runs. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you guys before you head out, and the overwhelming generosity and kindness from you guys, whether it be from the comments down below the video or you guys coming over to the channel to talk to us live over on Twitch. I just really wanted to thank you guys from me and the community. It's been a wild journey, and the adventures will keep rolling in, the content will keep flowing in, as long as you guys keep enjoying it. So thank you guys again from the bottom of my heart. It's been an absolute blast, and I can't wait to do more. Until then, Misfits out.